Hello, and welcome to the episode of OMYAC Club. I'm here. I'm Jim. I'm with Chris.
Hey.
And Patrick. And we're going to be doing 2005's Ghost Reveries by Opeth today. We haven't really done like a metal album, so it was about time.
We did Steely Dan. Steel was metal.
Yeah, that's a metal as fuck. So obviously the person who showed me this album I had to have on for this episode, so please welcome my good friend, Eric Rautenstrauch.
What's up, guys? How are you? Hey, go me.
No.
I'm the metal guy.
The metal guy. You and Greg. We had Greg on for Black Sabbath. Well, yeah, Black Sabbath.
Yeah, I mean, we've already identified that Eric's name is now Steel Pole.
Right. Steel Pole.
Yep.
Is that your porn name?
I
The
guess so.
steel pole, yeah.
Yeah.
Eric Steel Pole?
Small steel pole.
I want to just Photoshop a version of you where you have, like, Colossus skin.
I'd be down for that. That should be the cover of this.
I'm lost. I don't know what you're talking about.
X-Men, Colossus.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yep, all right.
He's
He-
the
he
one,
would-
he's
yeah,
the
you
one
would-
with all the skin.
He's got so much extra skin hanging off of him, Mr. Colossus. It's droopy and stringy, and he looks like a nightmare.
He looks like the Elephant Man, basically.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah, did you ever see that woman from The Knife when she went to some awards show and she wore this mask on her face that made it look like her face was just melting skin?
No.
It was like the most horrific thing I have ever seen. That's all I can think of now that we're talking about this.
Why?
Because she's actually another. I think she's from Sweden as well.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, that's what they all
That's
do.
what they do.
They make metal or they wear melting face masks.
Yeah, I mean, what else are you going to do? It's fucking cold. as
There's the
shit.
tie-in.
Here you go, Patrick. I see you're having an issue over there.
I didn't have any issue. Did you see me trying to open this? I actually have a bottle opener, but
Oh.
thank you.
Oh, it seemed like you needed some help over there, so I
All
wanted
right,
to help
well,
out.
thank you. I still need help because I'm having a difficult time opening this. for
That
some reason.
that bottle opener is direct from the Guinness Brewery in Dublin. Holy shit!
Yeah,
Jesus.
now I ruined everything. For those of you playing at home, I just spilled a negligible amount of beer.
Good thing
onto
we
the
have no
podcast
electronics
table.
over here.
Yeah.
They're raised up. It's all good. All right, let's.
Now I'm all covered in beer and cold.
Why did I wake up covered in a sticky, translucent goo? Ghost Reveries is the 8th full-length album by Swedish progressive metal band Opeth that was released on August 29th, 2005, and it was their first album after signing with Roadrunner Records. Ghost Reveries is the first album by Opeth to include keyboardist, and I'm probably going to butcher this, Per Weiberg, I
Like
think.
literally PER, right?
Yeah.
Pear.
Yeah, well, fuck you.
Remember how I wanted to name my kid Pear?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Per Weiberg as a permanent member, although Weiberg contributed keyboard work to Opeth's live performances starting around the time of Lamentations. And is the last Opeth album to include drummer Martin Lopez and longtime guitarist Peter Lindgren.
Mario Lopez.
Martin Lopez.
Oh, I didn't know if we were talking about television's AC Slater.
No, we're talking about a famous Swedish person, Martin Lopez.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind.
The album's only single is The Grand Conjuration. A music video of the song was released, although about half of the song was edited from the video due to the length of the song. Lopez does not appear in the video as he was sick and was temporarily replaced by Gene Hogland.
Who's awesome.
Oh yeah,
Is he the, like...
He's done so much stuff. Strapping Young Lad.
Yeah, he's
Clock.
what do they call him? The like the human time machine or something like that.
He's insane.
Yeah, he's fucking nuts. Yeah, I remember him from Strapping Young Lad. He just does the most insane fucking fast kick drum shit.
I've seen him with Dimmu Borgir and stuff.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just
Oh, that must have been fun.
good.
For the first time since Still Life, the songs for Ghost Reveries were written for the album before going into the studio. This gave Opeth 3 weeks to rehearse and perfect the recording in the studio.
That doesn't feel like a lot of time,
No, it doesn't.
given the material at hand.
And it sounds pretty fucking solid.
It's very tight, yeah.
All right, so the band had decided whether to record the album at Fascination Street Studios. Here we go, another name I'm not going to be able to praise. Orebro, Sweden, or at Sonic Ranch. They eventually chose Fascination Street Studios as it was closer to their homes. The album marks a temporary return to progressive metal styles of the previous albums and features death growls, though still includes some of the progressive rock elements of Damnation. Ghost Reveries was initially intended to be a concept album with numerous tracks linked together a story of a man's turmoil after committing an unconscionable act. Unconscionable act. Thanks, Dad.
I'm just fucking staring you down as you read this now.
Do you have gout on your eyes, too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, speaking of that. Oh,
hey, guys, you know fucking Jimmy I Gout?
Conscionable act symbolized by killing his own mother. However, Michael Ockerfeld commented, I had intended to do an occult concept piece lyrically and got off to a great start with some downright evil lyrics like The Bang of the Hounds and Ghost of Perdition. Then I did Isolation Years, which had nothing to do with the intended concept, but I liked it so much I decided to ease up on the concept idea in favor of this one lyric.
No, it's just like a tender song about Satan.
Yeah.
He feels isolated sometimes.
Why I decided on
He's
the
a lone
occult
wolf.
theme? Well, I've always been intrigued by it, especially Satanism and stuff like that. I studied some books that, oddly enough, my wife had in her collection, like Servants of Satan, as well as Witchcraft and Sorcery, plus some more. I figured it'd be interesting to see what a mature 31-year-old mind would make of this subject as opposed to a 16-year-old kid who used to pose in front of his Bathory poster. I'm quite happy with them, to be honest, and they're evil.
Lords
The
of
album
Chaos.
only partly portrays a concept not fully arranged in the poetic manner as previous releases such as Still Life and My Arms, Your Hearse. The Baying of the Hounds is partially inspired by lyrics from the song Diana from Comus's album First Utterance.
So as a fella squarely in his mid-30s, the idea of saying a mature 31-year-old just made me fucking giggle deep down inside.
what's
Yeah. Remember how much of an
Maturity.
idiot you were at age 31?
Yeah, I do.
I do too.
Distinctly.
So we were talking about gout in my eyes. Yeah, so we've all been in pretty rough shape the past couple of weeks.
Jesus Christ, I know.
My
Holy shit.
rough
foot's
one.
been falling off. Fucking Christopher's back hurts, and
Well, I had bronchitis, too. Don't forget
Bronchitis.
the bronchitis. Yeah.
Patrick had a tooth pulled out of his face.
Yeah, one of I've had 5 teeth pulled in the last couple of years.
What the
and
fuck,
this
man?
is-
Are you doing this recreationally?
No, I just my teeth suck.
Just like that-
I've got English blood. And the English have.
It's like that
awful
episode
teeth.
of Always Sunny where Charlie's just pulling the teeth out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is my nightmare.
I went to that Morrissey song, English blood, Irish teeth, they are pulling.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
How
Yeah.
about you, Eric? How are you doing? Are you have any ailments you want to tell us about?
Just fat.
Oh, join the club. All right,
That is beautiful.
let's go around the horn here. Patrick, favorite song off of this
Damn.
wonderful album from 2005?
Shit, I'm gonna go with. So this was kind of a last minute change for me. I'm gonna go with The Grand Conjuring.
Oh.
Yeah, I just really felt like so this was a record. Opeth obviously.
The Great Conjuration, by the way.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with Ed and Lorraine Warren.
The Great Conjuration.
Yeah.
All right, edit point. My favorite song.
Do not edit that for him.
So The Great Conjuration. No, I really felt like that song kind of summed up everything that.
Wait,
that,
sorry, I was wrong. It's The Grand Conjuration. We were both wrong.
I wasn't going to
Jesus
say
Christ.
it. I was like, let them go.
It's actually the Great Malenko.
Way different.
Anyways, The Grand Conjuration, Patrick. Tell us why it's your
Wow,
favorite.
spoiler alert for my comparable album. Holy shit. So I really felt like this track sort of summed up the mission statement of whatever they were trying to do on this record. Obviously, my kind of entry point for Opeth was actually their 1998 album, My Arms, Your Hearse, which is kind of more of, it's a lot darker than this particular record was. It's a lot more black metal influenced.
For sure.
but it's there's some moments on that record. I think particularly Epilogue, the last track on that record, where they kind of go into more melodic Pink Floyd-esque territory, introducing the organ and shit. And that was sort of my only real familiar, like, what I had known from the band. And then going into this, I was pleasantly surprised at how much use of dynamics there were on something that calls itself a black metal record, which to me is like, I don't know, a lot of the stuff that I've heard, tends to kind of just be pretty heavy all throughout, but I feel like there are a lot of great moments on this record, but on this song in particular that really kind of take you to some places, and there's different tones,
Straight
different
down to hell.
Yeah, and there's it's a heavy fucking song, but it also has these there's like this part where the just everything cuts out and it's just the Wurlitzer doing this sort of like weird warbly riff that's kind of mimicking what the guitars were just doing. And yeah, the verses just kind of have this great groove to it, like kind of just reminds me of Tool, I guess, in some ways.
Yeah.
Just that sort of vibe to it. And it's great use of him doing melodic vocals, but also doing some screaming vocals, sort of kick it to that next edge. Yeah, it just goes through a lot of cool changes. I love that organ bass sort of thing going on towards the beginning. I was commenting on that when we were listening to it. Sounds like they put it through a Leslie filter, and it just gives it that great sort of extra bit of grime and body to it.
They threw that shit through an amp. Like,
Yeah.
it's fucking full on crunch. It's great.
Yeah, I love organ bass, and yeah, it was just so sinister and so well placed, and yeah, there's a lot of different instrumentation happening here, and a lot of big ass fucking instruments all kind of coming in together, and everything kind of just sounded very well balanced on this particular song, and whoever took on the challenge of mixing this motherfucker, did a really great job.
CB.
I'm gonna go with Atonement.
Okay.
That was going to be my other choice.
Kind of a weird pick. Yeah, no, I was worried that we would pick the same one again. No,
Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that. I don't want to have anything in common with this piece of shit. No,
I don't blame you.
I liked this because it was kind of like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
I really enjoy what they do. But after 3 songs, they knew enough to give something a little bit different going into
Yeah.
it.
I wrote a note about that, how this album kind of does a great job of breaking things up.
Yeah.
So you're not just getting a barrage of.
That was my
Yeah.
thought exactly, but that was actually my choice for favorite before I heard The Great Malenko.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's exactly that. It's a refreshing track, and it's sort of just it's got a good groove, good thing to kind of zone out to after being attacked with this onslaught of metal.
Yeah, and it's actually, for this album, it's super minimalist. It's doing a lot with that groove and just kind of having other instruments come in and out and kind of doing their thing, saying their piece.
I really liked the little piano break at the end there, and it had like the reverse effects going on.
Yeah, and the drones throughout were great. I liked this a lot. I thought that it brought a lot to the table for this album.
Cool. Yeah, totally on board with that. I wrote Atonement. Drop some acid.
Yeah, I was actually kind of hoping Patrick would just start smoking weed during this, like instinctively, without like.
No, I waited until the great Conjuration for that one.
Grand.
I waited until
Grand, whatever, fucking grand.
I waited until the Conjuring 2 for that one.
The Craft.
All right, Eric, what's your favorite song?
1996.
Ghost of Perdition.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Everything about that song from the beginning, just chords. It almost is like the beginning of Battery, where you hear like the beginning, like those few chords right before it, and then it just blasts you in the face. And
Yeah.
it's like everything I like about music in one song. So there's solos, there's time changes, there's, great drums, great vocals. His clean vocals are outstanding. And he also has probably the best death metal vocals I've heard. I'm more of like a metal guy. So yeah, I think Coast of Perdition is just trucks through everything.
Yeah, it's a very bold first track.
Yeah.
And similar to the song that was my favorite. It does a good job of running the gamut of what you're to expect on the rest of the album.
Yeah.
And what song was that? Was that Annabelle?
Yeah, sure.
I think Ghost of Perdition it's over 10 minutes long, but you don't feel like it's
you
10
breeze
minutes
through
long.
it.
It was a pretty brisk 10 minutes.
Keeps you pretty engaged.
It really is.
It's a
And
very compelling listen.
oh my god!
All in all.
I actually really like the double bass in that, and I don't normally really love double bass, but I liked how staccato it was. So
Yeah.
he'd just come in and just do like,
Yeah. Very tastefully done. I wrote a note for Ghost of Perdition, and maybe I'm being a little bold here, but I said probably the best metal song ever written.
I think it's up there. I mean, if we're talking, different kinds of metal, obviously. There's classic, black, whatever, but it's top 3 songs of all time for me.
Something that I noticed in my research was how well reviewed this record was, and after listening tonight, I think it was pretty well deserved. But we noticed that even fucking snarky old Pitchfork gave it 8.4 out of 10.
yeah.
AllMusic gave it 5 out of 5, which I rarely see for anything released past 2001. They usually save that for retrospective reviews, but yeah, that's pretty pretty impressive
Yeah,
for a
especially-
record like this, a prog metal record essentially.
Yeah, especially this album, 05?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 14 years old, and we were a senior you were a senior in high school when that came out. And, man, that shit just
Yeah,
blew
it
my
came out
mind.
the summer after we graduated.
Holy crap!
05 was a pretty decent year for rock and metal from what I remember. There were some decent releases from that year.
Yeah,
Is Hail to the Thief 2005?
That's 2003.
03.
This album sonically I think holds up too. It doesn't sound like it's of any particular time.
no,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. It's very, just anytime you can listen to it, go for it. It's great. It's wonderful.
Yeah, the guitars have a really nice kind of bite, like a warm but very aggressive bite to it, and yeah, everything was very well mixed.
Oh, yeah.
That was something I noticed
Yeah,
listening.
I
all throughout.
wrote that just this album in general, just as far as the production goes, is so well balanced and dirty but clean
Yeah.
at the same
Well,
time.
there's so many moments with Opeth where the chords are really fucking dense, and you need to kind of hear all the different parts, the layers going on top of it to really get the full effect of
Yeah.
what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Hey, Jimmy Gout, how about you? What's your favorite?
Jimmy Igout had a tie between Ghost of Perdition and Harlequin Forest, and since Eric picked Ghost of Perdition, I'm going to go with Harlequin Forest.
Into the street, past meadow grounds, and further away from my home.
I love this song. I love the way it actually, most of the songs on this album kind of start out with the, it's brutal and the screaming vocals and stuff, whereas this one starts out more melodic and him singing and stuff and kind of building up to that point where he starts doing his growls. And there's actually one point where I think it's in the middle of the song where he just does this extended in the background for a good fucking 15 seconds. Just this fucking thing in the woods is coming to get you.
Harlequin Forest is
Michael
awesome.
Ackerfeld's coming to get you.
Yeah.
That's probably my
He's not
second
so
favorite
tough.
song.
The Michael is gonna get you. The Michael is gonna get you.
There's some good soundscapey stuff.
Yeah,
towards the end of that
yeah,
too.
exactly.
The bit with the Ebo reminded me something of something that could have been on The Fragile. Kind of had that sort of soundscapeness to it.
Yeah, and then there was this like drum and guitar unison chugging thing that was happening kind of towards the end. That's fucking great. And there was just this, like you said, kind of textural like thing going on where there's just a droning guitar happening in the background behind it that was just kind of swelling in and out. That was fucking fucking perfect.
If I was gonna show someone like this album for the first time, I'd probably show them this song first. Like if you're not gonna listen to the album front to back,
Right.
Like, hey, give me one song for someone who hasn't heard the song.
So this is
give them
the
this
album that got me into metal. Again, I think you probably remember, Eric, when we were young, I'd be like, I don't want to listen to this screamy shit, and you were like, no, shut the fuck up and just listen to this.
Yeah.
And
You gave me Dream Theater, I gave you Opeth.
yeah, this is like this is my intro to like metal because it had the balance of the melodic vocals and the screaming vocals.
I think this was a band that was kind of my entry point into like heavier than Metallica music, I guess, if that makes any sense. Because
Yeah.
I remember being a young nerd on the internet, like circa 1997, 1998, and like
Trying to get rides to Providence.
yeah, no, this was years before that. I was just trying to find new music and like back then, like the websites that were out there were just fucking nerds that were like, this is the music that I listened to. But I discovered a lot of like fucking Swedish or Scandinavian metal bands from this one dude's website who I can't remember. One day I'll remember. I should totally call him out.
I thought you were going to say I should totally call him.
I just totally,
Which would be incredible.
Yeah.
Hey,
If
do
you
you
put his
remember how you
number
used to
up.
have a website? I found you.
No, it's
beautiful.
absolutely true though.
yeah,
Heavier
and-
than Metallica is such a good barometer.
Yeah.
Because
Heavier than
Yeah,
Metallica. Well,
it's not necessarily heavier, but just like more extreme and like faster.
Yeah, and I don't even
Yeah.
think it's saying that. I think it just means like you've graduated.
Sure,
You're
yeah.
moving on from Metallica now.
Right.
You're checking out other things.
Right? Yeah. No,
Yeah.
totally.
I mean, Metallica's a big
really like
investment,
that.
but
oh
you
yeah.
know.
I like
You
early
gotta break that.
Metallica. I don't like many things more than that, but like
Of course.
Oh yeah, that's such a good barometer. I like.
Yeah, we all had a great time in high school, but we had to move on past it.
Some of us, some of us peaked in high school. Some of us peaked in elementary school. That's me. that's my burden.
Yeah, you were the popular kid in elementary school, Patrick.
I ate worms and cartoons.
You ate worms and what?
Drew cartoons.
Eric hates cartoons.
I do. I don't hate cartoons.
You
I
hate
just-
'em.
I don't have the imagination for them.
I mean, they don't require imagination. It's all drawn for you.
Yeah, can't do it. I don't know. Can't get into
Eric
it.
thinks that he also has to create cartoons.
Like I
Can't keep up.
like I still haven't seen like more than like 3 episodes of The Simpsons.
Interesting. Well,
Fair
whatever.
enough.
I try, but I just can't.
All right, Patrick, least favorite.
So everything that you said about Harlequin Forest. Except, and I did like that song. I thought it was a great track, but it is my least favorite on the record, just because I don't know. I think it was like the least compelling sort of black metal, where it just sort of felt, just wasn't. I don't know. There wasn't like quite enough variety for me. I don't know. I still think it's a great track, but it's the one I had to pick.
Fair enough.
On the chopping block. For me, I'm going to have to go with Hours of Wealth. That was another like little nice change of pace. But I didn't think there was as much substance to it. I couldn't really, I don't know. There's nothing in it that I could really sink my teeth into. It was fine. I didn't dislike it, but at the same time, it wasn't kind of like calling to me like the rest of the album was.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was Atonement. think
You son of a bitch.
I like the idea of it. I like parts of it. I think it goes on too long. I think it could have. Part of the album, I think it could have done what it does in 3 minutes as opposed to 6 minutes. I think a lot of it's a lot of filler. I do like it. I think parts of it remind me almost like 2112, like Discovery, when he's like picking at the guitar. It almost has that type of like bring you back to like, oh, all right, we're not doing death metal the whole time. It's like, all right, let's give you a breather. I like that and everything, but I'd say, yeah, I don't dislike it so much, but I think it's the weakest track on the album.
It's the least favorite.
There's a little too much cheese on that taco.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little too much.
You.
What's wrong with cheese?
You
I'd
don't-
say there's a little too much taco under that cheese.
You're a fool.
I am a fool, but that's neither here nor there.
Now I want a cheesy Gordita crunch.
Ooh, yeah.
Hold the beef.
If only there was some kind of establishment open all hours, I would get it for you.
Near your house.
I think they fucking deliver now too.
Yeah, they claim to, but they're fucking liars.
Really? Why, you tried?
I tried, yeah. There's one on Route 1 that's like a 10-minute drive from my house, and those assholes won't bring it.
What?
Yeah, it, like
Door-
all,
I-
I
all
thought it
over
was like
DoorDash.
DoorDash. Yeah.
Yeah, all over DoorDash, it says like, "Oh, now delivering Taco Bell." So I hit the thing like at the top of the app one day because I'm like, I'm just gonna do this and die soon. And as soon as I hit it, it says, "Sorry, there are no restaurants in your area." It's like, what the fuck is this? Why are you advertising this to me if you
That's
won't
a bunch
do
of
it?
bullshit. I ordered Friendly's drive-through
Jesus,
through DoorDash once. That was
They have Friendly's drive-thrus?
ice cream only.
There's
right?
one in Marlboro.
It's ice cream only, right?
No, it's ice
Jesus.
cream and food.
What the fuck? Friendly's is easily the fucking slowest food service place I've ever been to, bar none.
It's true.
You go to Friendly's and it's like by the time. So here, all right, this might be a little too much information for some people, but here's a constant problem that I have with Friendly's, and I haven't been in a little while. But
Strap in, everybody.
Yeah, anytime I go to Friendly's, I will get my fucking food. After like 40 minutes of waiting, it'll be cold. I'll eat it begrudgingly, and then I wait. I just wait and wait and wait for that fucking waitress or waiter to return with my check. And when they finally do, I will give them my card or cash, needing change, whatever. And then I have to fucking wait for them to do it again. By the time I am able to physically leave that restaurant, I already
got a shit.
I need to diarrhea like then. And that is a constant thing that I have with Friendly's.
And that's why they have great bathrooms for you to
And
use.
why how could they possibly offer drive-through? I just don't understand how that works.
I don't know. It's always pretty quick when I go there.
Yeah, maybe they just fucking like the look of your face. I
What's,
don't know what the
I like
hell.
the cut of my
now,
jib.
Now I'm curious what Patrick's go-to at Friendly's is.
Ooh, I get the what is it, the super melt or whatever. It's the burger that's in like a grilled cheese basically.
I like the Friendly Frank.
Yeah.
You go there and get a hot dog, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
you just don't give a shit, dude. That's why I like you. And I get a birthday cake, Fribble.
Fribble,
Zone.
yeah.
Fribble is a fart that drips.
I'm not. Oh,
You don't.
that's what you get
same.
after you eat Friendly's.
You don't help yourself to one of the happy ending Sundays that they offer.
I used to get those all the time.
Ooh, yeah.
just to
but
order a
with the,
happy ending Sunday.
Yeah, the fucking.
I mean, I was
clown.
fucking 6 years old.
Hey, Dad, check this out.
Yeah, the clown is pretty good. That the cone head,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the happy ending.
classic. Yeah. Love
No,
guy.
that was the Conehead. That was different from the happy ending.
Really? No,
Yeah,
I
ha-
think they're the same thing.
I don't think happy ending was a specific Sunday. I think it was
it's
that you could add a Sunday to your meal. And
It's a
Oh, it's
concept.
called a happy ending.
Yeah.
Ah, all
Yeah,
right.
Jimmy.
Well, my parents ordered it for me, so I don't fucking know.
You saying your parents give you a happy ending?
Moving on. My least favorite
No, the
song-
assistant manager at Friendly's did.
Ooh, now I know why they call
parents
it
just paid for it.
friendly. Sorry.
Everyone leaves with a smile.
confused. Smile.
My least favorite song is going to be Beneath the Mire. And it's just my least favorite. I really like all those songs on this. Even the ones that are kind of more low key and kind of, filler. I guess Eric described them as. I still like those. I think they're good kind of breaks from the brutality that is the rest of this album. But Beneath the Mire, I really didn't have anything that kind of like stuck out to me. So that's going to be my least favorite.
Now that's kind of shocking to me because one of the notes I took about this is that of this album, I think that one had the most Steven Wilson DNA on it. Like,
really?
Yeah, his fingerprints I think were on that song.
I agree with that.
Especially that breakdown. That was just very Steven Wilson to me, and the fact that you're calling this your least favorite. Oh man,
I'm just full of surprises.
Steven Wilson was right to react the way he did when you tried to touch him.
I have nightmares about that. All right, don't bring that up.
I think this is Michael's best vocals on the album.
Beneath the Mire.
I think his actual singing is the best, and I don't know about the death growls and everything, but definitely his singing is definitely I think at its peak on this song.
Yeah, like I said, it's not. I don't not like it. I love it. It's just not my favorite.
Well, there you go.
Patrick, what is your MVP sports moment?
My MVP sports moment
Sports
was all that stuff that you said about Beneath the Mire.
God damn it!
My MVP moment was actually at the end of Beneath the Mire.
The weirdness that's going on.
So it kind of
there?
goes into this 9/8 part. That's really cool. Or it's three things of three, which is like a really cool way to do 9/8. And like everything kind of cuts out, and it's just like low pass toms and like some light piano or some shit, some keyboards and guitar, and it's like the whole metal timbre of the song just goes away, and it kind of like goes into this weird sort of krautrock thing. And yeah, just really I appreciated it and really enjoyed that tonal shift a lot, and I think for a metal band to kind of like dip from those types of influences rather than like falling completely on Metallica or fucking Kiss or whatever other like bands a lot of metal bands tend to be inspired by, like I think that's really cool. Speaks to the inventiveness of what these guys are about, or I guess what Michael Ackerfeld is about, because I guess he fucking writes and does everything, huh?
Does he write the drum parts too?
Well, I mean, he probably doesn't write them, but he
comes up with the
Has an
basic.
idea.
comes up with like
what's
the
going
guitars and the changes and everything. I would imagine.
Yeah, he's nuts.
Yeah,
He's a very control freak.
He leads the drummer to water, but he can't make him drink.
He would if he could.
Yeah, he
Here
would.
first. Drummers are horses.
I'm just imagining him holding a drummer's head underwater, trying to
I
force
bet
him
that happened.
That's how they do in Scandinavia. They're dark people.
For me, I'm going to go with the Bang of the Hounds. That descending dissonant harmony.
Oh yeah.
And the following bit after it with that
I
fucking...
saw the twinkle in Chris's eye when that happened.
Well, and the fact that I like looked up and said something too. Hey, everyone, look at my twinkling eyes. No, but that was great, along with that like militant bass riff afterwards with like the vibes. Like that whole section of that song was
that's really cool.
That was just a little treat. And it was a early album treat, and I savored it like a happy ending Sunday.
Which is really good.
Sop up that
The
caramel.
best part of the happy ending Sunday is it had the you got the M&Ms at the bottom, so you had like the liquid ice cream and the M&Ms at the bottom of the the metal
And if you can finish it,
receptacle.
and if you can finish it within 2 minutes, the district manager gives you a hand job under the table.
Ooh, I get the waffle fries too. I do the 99 cents extra for waffle fries. Because why the fuck not? I'm an adult.
Is Robert Kraft there during all of this too, or
Is he? I mean, does he oversee production of my food?
Dude,
I don't know that
he-
for sure. I hope so.
He has the look of someone who eats at Friendly's, but because he has money, the way that he does it is he has someone else go in and sit down and order the food. And then when it finally is coming to the table, like they call him and they're like, "Mr. Kraft, your food is ready." And then he'll enter the restaurant.
That's crazy money.
Yeah.
Oh, because of the prostitution thing. Okay.
No, because of the wait time of waiting for Friendly's service.
I don't know. They've always been pretty quick
yeah?
with me.
I don't know, man. I've never had an issue.
I
with
think
the
it's
wait
you.
time. It's probably your
All right.
Friendlies.
If you've ever had an
you have,
issue
like,
with
special
Friendly's, text yes to 4429.
Are you asking for shrimp and mayonnaise? Are you like special requests?
oldmenyellatcloud@gmail.com, correct? Yeah, email us if you have ever had an issue at Friendly's. I want some support on this.
Oh, okay. No, we've all had issues at Friendly's. Not
No,
necessarily
I'm saying
with their-
specifically service issues.
Yeah,
like
I
if you-
remember,
if you had to wait an unreasonable amount of time at Friendly's for any kind of service, please let me know.
I
Well,
remember.
not an unreasonable amount of time, but they brought me the wrong thing. I guess that could be.
yeah,
an
no, but
unreasonable
that
amount
is
of
specifically
time.
not what I'm saying. I'm specifically talking about time.
Okay.
I remember. I went to.
I mentioned it always gives me diarrhea too. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking specifically about the service.
Okay.
I
Sorry,
remember.
Jim.
I remember. I went to visit my friend.
We
at
could open
Worcester
it up
State.
to diarrhea if we wanted. I'm
God
sorry.
damn it! I went to
Worcester
visit.
State
I went to
diarrhea.
visit my friend at Worcester State when he was going there, and they're like, "Oh, let's go grab some dinner or something." So we went to a Friendly's.
I like that you say, "Let's go grab dinner," and then you go to Friendly's.
Well, it was
The-
Worcester.
the
There's
word-
not that many options.
But the word dinner followed by Friendly's to me is a very funny pairing.
Yeah, Friendly's is definitely supper.
No, let's go get some fucking shit.
I would never go to Friendly's, even if you paid.
really?
Whoa.
I don't believe that for a second.
It's the worst place out there.
No.
It's the worst chain
haven't-
restaurant.
I haven't been
No,
in
no, no,
years.
no.
Applebee's is
Worse
pretty
than
bad.
the. I mean,
No, it's
no,
much
the
better than
99
Applebee's.
is
It's
the
much worse
fucking
than Applebee's.
worst.
No, I love the 99.
Fuck you. No, the 99 sucks.
While they existed, Bickford's was the worst, but I still loved them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, so many memories.
Anyways, continuing my fucking story. So we're sitting in the Friendlies, and my friend was going to Worcester State, and this woman comes by who is an employee there, and she's like vacuuming the floor, and she's like, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" I was like, "Oh, just getting dinner," and she's like,
Again.
For
Hey,
browsing
guys.
for pants. What are you
Hanging
doing?
out at the table here at Friendly's. I work here. I understand what we do, but what are you doing here?
Yeah,
I am
But she's
lost at
like-
the moment.
More of you?
She's like, "Oh, you guys go to school around here?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't." And my friend was like, "Oh, I go to Worcester State." And she goes, "Oh, I went to Worcester State." And I was just like, "Oh, well, there's your future."
I'm willing to bet
Womp
too. She wasn't vacuuming, but she was using one of those weird devices that seemed to only exist at Friendly's. That was
That-
like a vacuum
Yes.
that was
It's
not
a carpet
electric.
sweep.
Yes, that
Yes.
is that is exactly what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, like a popcorn sucker. Oh, wait, no. They didn't do popcorn. It was the
No, they
ground
did.
round that
The
did
ground
The
round
ground round
did
did
popcorn.
popcorn. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. Good times. Good times.
Yeah, there's still a place like the ground round in Melrose called Grimsby's. And if you. Yeah. Don't worry.
Grizzlebees.
No, Grimsby's. Don't worry about the name. If you put a ground round.
Oh, I am worried about the name, actually.
It
Sounds
is-
like the name of a house elf. I was green.
Well, someone gave him his fucking socks and he opened a restaurant. And it's.
Grimsby's has a sock now. I
But
can open a
Grimsby's, I'm telling you,
restaurant.
I'm trying to fucking help you right now. Grimsby's is a fucking ground round under another name. If you ever want
the
to
same
go to
people?
probably it's
And they hooked up with the
the
house
same
elf.
fucking thing. It's literally like someone sold the guts of a fucking ground round when they went out of business. Someone just was like, "Oh, okay, cool. There's still food in the freezer, and there are receipts from our distributors, so I know how I can make this restaurant work."
That's brilliant. Does it still smell like chlorine? Because I feel like every ground round smelled like chlorine.
So I've only gone there like Thursday or Friday nights, like shortly before the townies start really picking up activity in the bar. So it already kind of just smells like beer spills at that point.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
the last ground round in existence was in Pawtucket, where what the fuck's the name of that place?
Murphy's.
Murphy's Law is now.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the last ones in existence.
Ground round was absolutely fine. 5 out of 10.
A straight 5.
Extremely not memorable.
I remember the popcorn.
Yeah, the popcorn was cute.
That sucks.
Oh, and they had happy endings too. It's like but they gave you little baseball caps.
Oh
full of
yeah,
ice cream.
Yep,
Yeah,
I do. I got a Marlins one time.
yeah. Good times.
You still have it?
Hey, who's out? Who's listening out there in places other than New England? What was your regional sort of fucking shitty family chain restaurant? Right?
Probably either Shoney's or Waffle House, I would guess.
Oh, I love Shoney's.
Scott Steiner owns the Shoney's. Do any of you know who that is?
I do through you.
He's a wrestler.
Shoney's is great because they
all the
along,
best restaurants are run by wrestlers.
they along with Honeydew
right in the name.
Donuts are one of those chains that uses a dim-witted bear as a mascot, and I really appreciate
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody loves a cartoon bear,
Especially
Trust
one that
him.
just looks like simple.
Yeah,
He's just getting through the day.
yeah, just doing his best. Like
Not shooting for the stars, just doing.
not standing. No one's standing between him and his honeycomb. Can't get enough of that golden crisp.
Speaking of, what was the craving? Was he a bear? What the fuck was he?
Oh, the honeycomb craving.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like a fucking
Craving was a
gremlin.
person?
What? He was a
That was a,
person?
that was a being?
He was a being?
It was
don't know.
Gollum. It was like he was once a human being, but then he just after
His
like
insatiable lust for honeycombs and turned him into.
it poisoned his mind and turned him into the creature known as the craving. God, this is sinister. The craving.
It belongs right on the side.
Crave the honeycomb. God, that is consumerism for you. God damn.
They were warning us in plain sight.
Yeah, because I
God
think
damn.
the kid turned one of the points. The kid turns into the fucking craving. Anyways, who's
So it wasn't an adult; it was a child.
yeah,
Sorry,
it's a child?
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
Is it?
Human
Did you do
child.
your MVP?
I did.
Did you? You haven't done your MVP moment. What's your MVP
Not
moment?
yet. Bang of the Hounds.
Yep.
The whole song. No, I'm just kidding. The part where they're doing like acoustic for a little while, and then it just like the drums break to dan dan ba da 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 da. And then just like the satanic vocals, the death growls, the drums, the guitar, everything about that just like punches you in the face for a couple parts right there, and then again where it goes dun, 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 and then it goes right back at you. So
Yeah.
it's like I think it's a double punch in the face, and
It really whips the llama's ass.
that part just makes the hair stick
yeah.
up on the back of my neck and just kills you. And some great lyrics too. Listen to this. And I embrace bereavement. Everything beloved is shattered anyway. I would devote myself to anyone. I would accept any flaws.
Yeah.
So-
That's a badass song.
Those lyrics, like I thought those were like the coolest thing in the world. Like in
the
2005 and going on. I just think it's like I can totally.
You are everything.
Empathize
They are
to that.
nothing. I fucking love that.
Right.
line.
I can totally picture that for me. It's just like me going into myself, like, where I'm okay with anything, I'll accept any of your flaws. Like whatever it is, like that's cool. Like whatever.
Yeah.
So, that was a really, really,
There's
really
all
cool
kinds
song.
of people.
Yeah.
Mi casa es su casa.
Hey,
right?
everybody comes from somewhere.
That's not true.
Right.
Sometimes where isn't anywhere.
Anyways, so my MVP moment is going to be the pump in the Grand Conjuration, and
Ah.
The Nun.
what?
The Nun.
The Nun?
Yeah.
The fuck are you talking about?
It's the only other Conjuring movie I could think of off the top of my head.
Oh, okay.
You get it? I keep doing this joke.
Yeah.
The ghost
So
of
there's like
Emily,
this fucking
what's her name?
pump thing that happens in the Grand Conjuration where it's like.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, where the everyone's just sort of hitting on that staccato riff, and yeah, even the drums are kind of like kind of sticking close to what the guitars are
Right,
doing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very
It's very
intense.
unison, yep.
Yeah,
It's fucking
very
fucking
tight.
brutal.
Yeah.
It's fucking brutal. All right, we've done the MVP. We've done the most favorite song. We've done the least favorite song.
What comes next?
What comes next?
This is like fucking Blue's Clues. We're just it's like a children's show now. Just, what comes next?
I love those.
Again. All right, let's all talk about our favorite songs again.
I love those shows
like the
where
beginning
they,
of,
they talk to the audience and they wait and then say, "That's right."
It's like
Oh, yeah,
I
those are
love
good shows.
I love on Bad Motorfinger. What is it? Good Eye Closed, where it's like the cow says.
The devil says. Then it goes into the song proper.
Yeah. All right. Comparable album, Patrick.
Damn. This was tough for me to pick. I actually went with Polygodwanaland by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Not exactly a fucking black metal band, but definitely it's a record that, definitely leans heavily into the prog thing, but also, kind of takes you into these different, like, krautrock and, different, just like a lot of different timbres happening, and it's not necessarily a straight ahead prog rock or prog metal record, while it leans heavily into that, there's a healthy amount of other influence happening, and that's a band that we did the Microtonal album. This was probably my second favorite record of theirs from that year. They did like 5 fucking albums that year. Anyway, that was my choice.
I would go with California by Mr. Bungle. I've probably used that before, but in this case, I think it's probably a lot more fitting. Not only because Michael reminds me a little bit of Mike Patton at times when he's singing melodically, but just I think sonically it's covering a lot of not even necessarily similar ground. It's covering a comparable amount of ground, just in terms of the different things they're pulling out of the toolbox to use on it. So that's my comparable album.
Mr. E.
Mine would be Panopticon by ISIS.
All right.
I know it's totally different, but it could be because I was listening to it a lot at the same time I was listening to this. But there's very, varying heaviness, and then the lightness and vocal styles were, not so much death growls on ISIS, but the heaviness of that album. Yeah, I probably listened to those 2 albums.
It's funny that
So
you
much.
You picked ISIS because I was either going to use you for this album or for an ISIS album.
Yeah, no, I think ISIS is very comparable to this. If you like one, you'll like the other, and yeah, I don't know.
I know ISIS better, and I would agree with that.
Yeah,
You know ISIS?
The group, no. The musical act, I know personally.
Well, congratulations, guys. We just got a couple more followers. Thank you, the federal government now will now be following this podcast.
I take.
That'd be
full
funny
responsibility
if they
for it.
started following us to spy on us, but then they actually became like in earnest fans. They're like, "Oh, these guys are actually really funny."
Yeah, they've got the old men yell at cloud pinwheel hat going. They've got they got
the
pen and-
popular merch that we have.
they go-
Wait, we have beanies, like little helicopter hats. That'd be great.
You didn't get yours?
Not yet. I still have to eat like 5 more boxes of sugar frosted chocolate puffs or whatever that cereal was from Calvin and Hobbes.
Yep.
Chocolate frosted sugar bombs.
Yep,
that's
that's
the
it.
one.
Real
Good
question. ISIS, the band, are they still together?
No.
Oh, okay.
They haven't been for years.
So, yeah.
Okay. Were they broken up by the time ISIS, the group, became a thing?
Yeah, but they actually got a bunch of like hate mail
I'm sure they did.
and had to like change their fucking.
Well,
If there's one thing I know about people who refuse to fucking read or educate themselves on anything, they get very angry. So that makes a lot of sense to me.
Well,
Yeah.
I think like Archer, they had to change or they kind of moved away from that organization because they were called ISIS as well.
Yeah.
On that show.
yeah.
It's funny because that show like came out kind of around the same time as the Arab Spring, which was obviously when ISIS started becoming hot on the scene.
Yeah, no, they ISIS put out Wavering Radiant, and like right after that, they were like, "Yep, we've said everything we want to say,
Yeah.
and we're done here."
Well, a couple of them hooked up, or one of them hooked up with Chino.
Yeah,
from-
Palms.
to do Palms. Yeah,
There was it was basically all of ISIS and Chino
Oh yeah,
instead of
yeah.
Aaron Turner. And then Aaron Turner's doing all of his whatever the fuck
That
he
was a
does.
solid B+ record, from what I remember.
Pelicans coming in June. You want to go?
Probably not.
I would see
just be me
Pelican if
there.
they only played the first EP.
Oh yeah, for sure. The Woods crushed me.
Yeah. Yeah, and fucking Mammoth.
Yeah.
I love that EP.
Mammoth might still be the heaviest song I've ever heard.
And it's like, it's kind of happy too, which
Yeah,
is weird.
Exactly. It just It's very
Eric's the one who told me about the 20th anniversary of Scenes from a Memory.
Oh God. Oh yeah.
Are we
Yeah.
doing that, Patrick? We're gonna go nerd out together.
You know, I was saying in the Slack chat, I was like, either we don't tell anybody about this, or we just completely fucking own it on social media. And I think I want to go towards the latter. I want to do this
lean
whole
into
hog.
it. Lean into
Absolutely.
it.
You know who I'm going to see tomorrow?
I think you told me. I forget.
Cradle of Filth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm totally like unabashed about my terrible metal. I'm gonna go see Static X this year too. Minus Wayne Static.
Damn.
Yeah, that's still fucking weird to me.
Yeah. It was
I don't
just
know,
the 20th anniversary of Wisconsin Death Trip.
I
Which
guess
is crazy.
I read something that I think like the other guitarist or the bassist actually like contributed a fair amount of the writing.
Yeah, they were more of a band
Yeah.
than people assume because he had like crazy ass hair and was like very visible.
Right. Well, it was more of like an Alice in Chains situation where you know the guitarist was writing a lot of the riffs and shit.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
No.
I'm a bit out of my depth on my Static X knowledge.
Yeah, I don't
admittedly.
I don't know a whole ton about him. I remember seeing him once for, a while ago, and I was a huge fan.
Didn't you
back
go
in the
see
day.
him with Tom and that? What was that band that opened?
The Drive?
The Drive.
I don't know. Girl looked like Miss Maddows.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, she was hot.
Why does that sound familiar?
The
It was
Drive.
I don't know if it was an all girl band, or they had like several female members, and I don't even know what they sound
Oh,
like.
you
I
know
looked
what?
for them
They
on
had that song
Spotify. I couldn't
Angel.
find them.
Angel.
You know
That's
what?
one more song than I know.
A friend's band of mine briefly were called The Drive and then changed their name probably
At the
because of-
drive-in.
No, I was not friends with any of those assholes.
And that's the story of Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Jay Giles.
Hey, Jim,
Hey,
what's yours?
what?
Do you give a comparable?
I haven't yet.
Do it.
Do it. My comparable album is going to be 2002's Nothing by Meshuggah. Like I mentioned, Eric kind of got me into this little band here called Opeth and kind of opened the floodgates to liking some different metal. And
He opethed the floodgates.
He opethed the floodgates. So I ended up checking out Meshuggah, I think, after. I can't remember if you showed me that. I think you might have. No?
I don't think I should.
You wouldn't have
I
shown-
might have shown you I.
Yeah, maybe.
And that was right around the same time.
But I was listening to Nothing and Ghost Reveries kind of together, so that's what I'm gonna go with.
They're playing in May.
Meshuggah?
Yeah, with the Black Dahlia Murder,
Oh yeah.
which again, I don't care. I'm going.
All right. I believe it's that portion of the show where we have a happy ending.
Yes.
That's
Can we?
what, that's
can
what
we
this giant
forever,
circle is for. We got to come in that hectagon.
Can we forever,
Pentagon.
from here on out, call this part the happy ending?
Yeah, sure.
Welcome to the happy ending, everyone.
Welcome to the Robert Kraft section of the show.
Thank God it's almost over. Should I?
You should rate it.
I should rate it. So, this was actually my first time listening to the record, and very pleasantly surprised. I really genuinely enjoyed it. I think this is probably one of the better examples of a good black metal record, and it covers so much more ground than black metal. Obviously, there's a lot of melodic vocals happening. So it's very unique in what it is, and for that, like I really have to give that consideration. Where it's not really like anything I've heard before. It's much heavier than any prog rock or prog metal album that I've heard, and it's a lot more dynamic than most black metal records that I've heard. So it serves a very specific mood, and I think that's something worth noting. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I'm definitely looking forward to listening to it again. And where I think it gets an 8 rather than a 9 is just because there's a lot of metal happening, and
it makes Patrick feel dirty.
it just makes I mean I don't know, like I'm old. I don't know. I get listener fatigue from listening to like too much of like the same volume in a row these days. So objectively, I think for its genre, I think it's a fucking 9 or a 10 out of 10. I think this is a pretty fucking sick album, and definitely one of I could see where this would be rated highly amongst their catalog for sure. It sounds like they were firing on all cylinders.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it an 8 as well. I think that if I had first heard this when I was younger, I'd probably be giving it a higher rating, because I would probably have had more of like that muscle that you have when you're younger, and you can listen to like super, super long songs and just retain it all like immediately,
Yeah.
and kind of identify with it, whereas I don't really have that so much anymore for a lot of things. And a lot of the songs, as a result, I thought were a little long and could have used a little bit of editing. And I think had that been the case, if this is a slightly tighter record, would have been bumped up to a 9 or maybe even 10 in my case. But yeah, it was a little long for me in terms of that. So it gets an 8 for me.
Eric?
10. I know it sounds weird, but like I said, this is probably my favorite album of all time by anybody. I don't listen to just metal, but a lot of metal. It checks all the boxes for me, and it's almost like, I know you were saying like the songs were like long for you. Now it's like I've almost gotten into like longer songs. So these have almost been like, it's only 10 minutes. All right, cool.
I'm out of practice. That
Sure.
is what you're saying.
Yeah, like I'm just like, oh, all right, cool. Like, yeah, I think it stands up, and especially like when it comes to Opeth, it's so funny. Like, if you listen to like early Opeth, it sounds completely different, and if you listen to like current Opeth, it sounds completely different.
Right.
I mean, they're basically a prog rock band at this point. They don't, vocals, no nothing, no death, anything.
I remember that they lost a good amount of their fan base when they put Heritage
Yeah,
out.
I mean, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't,
I
I
remember
didn't,
hearing
and I
about
didn't
that,
love
too.
Heritage either. But the last couple albums I really liked, and for a different reason. So and like, yeah, I still like a lot of their more black metal type, just like the screeching guitars and like the screeching vocals and everything. But I think everything was like a perfect storm of sound, really, and
Yeah.
I think they crushed it on this. I don't know too many other metal bands, metal albums that I like more. So 10 out of 10.
Alrighty. I'm going to give it a 9. The only reason I'm giving it a 9 is because we can't do decimal rating system, because if I could, I'd probably give this like a 9.8. It's not a perfect album for me, but it's fucking close.
Yeah.
I don't dislike any second of this album. I think it's great, but it's just not... It's not to the point where I would place it maybe in my top 10 albums, just because I like so many more albums over this. But yeah, I give it a 9. I think just like I was saying earlier, this is what kind of got me into the more heavier metal, prog metal and things like that, and kind of opened my eyes to what was kind of going on in that scene, and just having that blend of everything that's happening on this album. It's just, like you said, it's got a little fucking everything.
Yeah.
There's bongos in it.
Yeah, there's fucking bongos, there's fucking Mellotron going on.
A lot of Mellotron.
Yeah, a good amount of Mellotron.
I actually kind of appreciated the restraint from the keyboardist, where like he wasn't really throwing in a bunch of sounds. It was pretty much sticking between like organ, Mellotron, Wurlitzer, and like some string. No, actually, the string
was all
stuff was
Mellotron, yeah.
So yeah, it was really just like those three things, and I think that that helps kind of keep things tight, and it kind of helped keep everything in context without it being too like overwritten.
Yeah, agreed. So that gives us a total of 8.75, which I think in the grand scheme of things, looking at this from a bit of a distance, I think that's a pretty fair rating.
I think that's
Yeah,
pretty
for sure.
fair.
That's probably what I would give it in earnest if we could do decimals.
Yeah.
I really dug this.
And as far as other Opeth albums, I mean, I think it's probably their best album, but like I said, it's so much different. But like you said, My Arms, Your Hearse, that album rocks. Like everything about that album kicks ass.
Yeah, it's a powerful, fucking intense record.
Yeah.
That was like my first impression hearing
Sure.
it when I was like 14 years old or whatever.
And this is kind of like in that vein where, like, I think really Cradle of Filth is what took me to like more extreme type metals, like faster, like you said, non-Metallica. And then it was like Cradle of Filth, Opeth, and then I got into all the other Emperor, just what else do I listen to?
Dawkins.
Sigur Rós.
Yeah.
Christopher, you're a big Sigur Rós fan.
I like Sigur Rós a lot.
Yeah, I saw their last show to date.
In Iceland, right?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, it was fun. It was cool.
I see them 2-3 times. Bank of America Pavilion.
Oh,
ago.
was that talk?
Yep.
Yeah, you actually let me borrow your Talk CD, and I never gave it back to you.
That's where it is.
Yeah, I have.
I know.
That's
I
the one
literally,
that you threw out the window, right?
I literally
See the
got rid of
episode
all my
on
CDs.
Talk for more.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I think Talk I think is a good comparable to this album, which is crazy, but I think it is. It's heavy. It's without being like metal.
Also 2005. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was a decent year for music.
It was. Some good stuff coming out.
Yeah.
I like heavy. Anything heavy, I'm pretty cool with.
Yeah.
For the most part.
You just went and saw Daughters.
Daughters was amazing.
Ooh,
One of the best
yeah.
shows I've ever been to.
That new record they put out was probably one of my favorite records of last year.
Yeah.
You Won't Get What You Want.
Yeah, that album. I mean, just
it's
hard
it's
for
fucking intense.
So I really have gotten into like more. I mean, that's not so much noise metal anymore, but like in that vein of that, like more just crazy energy noise. Like, I mean, I love Dillinger Escape Plan. I love An Albatross. I love Daughters. I love that kind of stuff. Number 12 Looks Like You. I've gotten more into that kind of stuff, but this last Daughters album has almost like ruined me for music for a little bit because it's just so good. Where I'm just like, man, I don't know what else I'm gonna listen to. Like, I'll just put this album on again, I guess.
Yeah, it's edgy. It pushes a lot of shit. Yeah, and the production is really cool. It
And it was all up the street.
yeah, it
was all in
they're a
Pawtucket.
Rhode Island band. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
right.
it was-
Did they do it at Machines and Magnets?
Yes.
Oh, they did. Holy shit.
Yeah. Every one of their albums they recorded there.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And it's so funny too. I mean, I could do like an hour on Daughters, but the first album, according to now, it's just like completely different. They didn't play anything off their first album. The last time I saw them, the last 2 times I saw them, they haven't. But oh well.
Yeah, they were like more of a grindcore outfit. Early
Yeah,
on,
it was.
right?
Yeah, it was like completely grindcore. still noisy and stuff, but like their first album's like 11 songs in like 9 minutes or some shit.
This record is more kind of like it's like Swans meets fucking Jesus Lizard.
Yeah, yeah. And Swans is a band I didn't hear of until last year, and they just crushed me too.
I think like most people didn't hear of Swans until like 2013 for some reason.
Mike showed me Swans.
That sounds about right.
Or they put out a new album that year or something, and then everybody suddenly knew Children of God.
I don't know. He was just like, "Here, listen to this." I'm just like, "Oh, you know me so well. This is great. This is wonderful." Oh,
Always delightful. That Michael Gira.
I like sad. That's the thing. It's like it's just like sad music. There's so much energy in sad. Fuck being happy.
He's very aggressively sad.
Yeah, I like the aggressive sad. That's the kind of music I like.
Aggressively sad? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Patrick, anything you want to plug?
I'll just plug the Smell album real quick. It's on Spotify. It's called Viva Lasagna, the sophomore release from my solo project Smell. It's on Spotify, iTunes, Bandcamp, and the rest. Check it out.
Check it out.
Catch a whiff.
I'll just plug the other shows on the Zero Science Network with us. Nickelbackin', we got the Jukebox Zeros, and there's actually a couple others in the pipeline that we can recommend soon. So I will do it at that point. I don't know why I'm talking like this.
I've just got some breaking news from the CNN news desk. Rapper Nipsey Hussle has died after a shooting in Los Angeles.
Oh no!
Not Nipsey Hussle.
Not Nipsey Hussle.
I don't mean to sound insensitive. I just have no idea who that is.
Yeah, me neither.
It's probably a really awful story.
It's probably a terrible story. I regret making that joke. I apologize right now for it.
I don't know who that is.
I don't either. Eric, you got anything you want to plug?
No.
You can plug Conrad's show if you want.
Nobody's listening to this.
Fuck you.
I just like picking on your shit.
Oh, breaking news! This is what you always wanted, right? All 3 cats on the tower.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
What?
That's
all
amazing.
right, we have a cat tower and 3 cats, and we finally got all 3 of them
Man,
up on
my
there.
one cat doesn't even go on the tower anymore.
All right, well, Jim, here's a picture of the woman from the knife wearing her flesh mask.
That's fucking terrible.
I got to see that earlier during the fucking essay that you were reading.
Yeah,
And I couldn't say anything about it.
plug Conrad's show.
Pritchard show, What Happened When, what's the other one? 83 Weeks. And he's got more coming in through the loops. Starcast. Starcast in May. Come see all the old wrestlers that you liked back in the day. And some of the new ones.
Sounds good, brother.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. I'll be there in Vegas. It'll be a good time.
Champlain.
Caesar's Palace.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall, brother.
Yep.
I'm gonna plug my new podcast. It's called Egg Review. It's where I review each individual egg that I eat,
From egg to chicken.
from egg to chicken. No, just kidding. I don't have anything. I'm working on Patrick's stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He has the files. Again, we need to reiterate.
Oh, yep. We finally got the stems, ladies and gentlemen. It was a fucking you know that scene in Apollo 13 when the module comes back into contact and everybody's flipping out and screaming and happy and mission control. That's basically what it was like when we finally got the projects to load on my computer from Patrick.
It was pretty incredible.
Right down to the fact that Clint Howard was in the room. It was pretty weird.
I mean, he'll fucking sign on for anything. Jesus Christ.
This is categorically untrue. I know this.
No, he worked for Scale. That's what he did for this for the Gremlins project.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't really talk about it much, but it happened.
Well, good to hear.
My bass drum still says Gremlins on it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have to change it to smell. Oh, all right. Hey, Eric, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's been a hoot.
Thanks for
and
being
then,
the middle guy. No problem.
Yeah,
I'm the non-musician in the group, so I'm just like, I like sounds.
it's all right. I'm not either.
Shut the
Yeah,
fuck
none
up.
of us are.
We like having civilians.
Noobs.
Patrick's always like, yeah, I like it when he went down to that B flat minor 7th chord, and I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck's going on here.
It was heavy. I like the guitar.
I like to imagine Patrick scribbling down notes as he listens, like squinting, but he has like his tongue hanging out of his mouth.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I'm just like loud noises. Please.
I was bending down to look for a beer in your refrigerator earlier, and Christopher was like, "Pull up your pants, you child."
Well, because literally, like his sweatpants were down below his ass. And like I was looking at his fucking underwear that did have holes in it. Fortunately, not in any of the business. Fortunately, not in any of the business areas. But I was just like, dude, how do you not feel your pants falling down that far?
I was on a mission. I was looking for a beer. I've
Yeah,
tended the underpants.
and you were
problem
looking
later.
at the top shelf of a refrigerator.
There were
so
higher
you were not bent
priorities.
down far at all.
There
and
were
your pants
higher
were just like
priorities.
Your pants were racing for the ground, and you're just
The
like,
iPhone
oh, okay, I'm
is-
fine with this.
No, the iPhone was heavy as weighing down my pants.
Oh, cool. If only there was something you could have done, like held your pants with one hand.
He needed both hands to rifle through the fridge.
You do in your beer fridge.
Yeah.
How many?
All right.
To go through all those IPAs is like who could choose between IPA versus IPA?
Yeah. All right, this has been Old Men Yell at Cloud. If you'd like to send us some hate mail, send it on over to oldmenyellatcloud@gmail.com.
Or at Yell at Cloud at Twitter.
at Yellow Cloud or Twitter. Also, check out, like Christopher said, check out the other shows on the Zero Science Podcast Network. We've got a whole family of shit. And actually, if you're listening out there and you've got a podcast that maybe you think would fit into our network, drop us a line. Where can they send that to there,
Just
Mr.
head
CB?
over to zero-science.com, and there is a submission section in there that tells us that will tell you exactly what we want to hear from you.
Sounds good. All right. This has been That Thing We Do with Tom Hanks. I'm Jim.
I'm Christopher.
Patrick.
And we'll see you in hell.
Having trouble starting your trimmer, chainsaw, or leaf blower? Say goodbye to those starting problems and improve your equipment's performance with True Fuel, the original ready-to-use fuel, available in 32 or 110-ounce cans. True Fuel is the ethanol-free, precision-engineered fuel that empowers your equipment to start strong and run great every time. Power through yard work with True Fuel, available at your local home and garden center today.
The world of work is changing. Do you have what it takes to change with it? At UMass Lowell, you have the power to transform your career, your future, your life, with an online degree that prepares you for the workplace of tomorrow. Pursue your bachelor's or master's degree with UMass Lowell, ranked by U.S. News and World Report as one of the best online degrees in the nation. Get started today at gps.uml.edu. Summer courses start May 18th at UMass Lowell.